Lean in.
Lean in there, man. You doing there? All right.
Awesome. Thank you. I've been waiting forever. Sorry.
That's working away, right? It's like,
Got it?
sorry, I got it.
Thank you. Hi. How you doing?
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
This Abby's gonna get it real quick. Two Abby's and then Emma.
Yep.
Hi.
Hi.
What's it like being back? I mean, how long have you been home? How long have you been here?
I landed around 2 p.m. and it's been good. I went home and my parents picked me up from the airport. My dad dropped me off here. It's been a great week, and it's been a week that I've learned a lot. I've opened up a lot, obviously, with the book, and I guess I'm just like kind of getting a little bit more comfortable as the week goes on, talking about stuff because I'm still in the middle of this whole recovery process, and there's another reason why I want to talk a lot about this stuff now, because so often people wait a year, 2 years until they've got things completely picture perfect in their life. And I don't do that. And I think that people will be able to actually find different things in the start of my story now, from when the world gets to see it, until I do get things like tied up. And it's exciting. I'm excited. I've already gotten a lot of calls, people that have their own issues, whether it be with alcohol or depression, and I'm not a professional by any means, but sometimes it's just nice to be heard and to have somebody see you.
Well, let's talk about the book. What made you decide to write it?
Well, there's actually two parts to that answer. The reason why I wrote the book originally was because it seemed like the right thing to do. My career was over. I had a lot of things that... It's okay. We'll start that over.
Yes, if you don't mind.
That's all right. So there's a few reasons why I wrote the book, and it has a little two-part series to that story. One, the end of my career happened, and it seemed like the next best thing to do, right? To talk about my legacy, my career, and also promote what I kind of wanted to do next with women's rights and equality and whatnot. And then I got the DUI, and I think when I got the DUI, I realized I was holding on to some of these secrets, and in the recovery world, secrets are the kiss of death. So for me, I had to tell my truth. I had to tell it open, honestly, and unashamed. And I think that I've done that with this book. So for me, the beginning, it was probably about telling my story, selling books, and then it became about helping people.
And you really are.
Hold on a second.
We good?
And you have been brutally honest in the book, which is something that I don't think we've come to expect from people, celebrities, and people that we hold in such high esteem. Why? Why open up? Why open yourself up?
Well, I think that I always kind of thought that I was brutally honest, right? And then what I realized over the last 5-6 months is there was just like this big part of my life, a small part of my life, that I wasn't capable of sharing. And it's the secrets that make things like feeling like a fraud real. It's the secrets that make the late nights wondering, what am I doing here? What is my purpose here? So for me, I think that the book was a cathartic journey that I went on. And I have healed a lot from the process of getting it all out there, and in hopes that now that it's published and it's pushed out into the world, that I can help other people, whether it's people struggling with similar things that I am, or they're just curious about what it's like to be an athlete in my shoes. This is not everybody's experience. Being a celebrity, being on a pedestal is not easy, right? And I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying I wish my life were any different. What I am saying is, for me, in my experience, it was hard.
And so you spoke about, in helping others, you spoke about your new dream in life, which is for people to stop using labels and classifying others. And so how do you see yourself accomplishing that dream in the future?
Great question. I think that the more you talk about things, the more honest you can be about your life, about the experience you've had, like I've had. I think that I'm trying to meet people with my real truth in hopes that people can meet me with the very same thing. And when people meet each other with real truth, then you can actually get to label-less conversation, then you can actually get to mindful conversation, and talk about things that actually matter rather than like, ooh, what are you wearing? Or what do I look like? What car are you driving? You know, I've gone down all of that road, and I'm telling you that it's no place to want to be. It's no place to want to live. Your kids out there, they might want to become this famous soccer player, but it has to be done on your own terms. It has to be done in a careful, mindful way so that it can't and it won't spin out of control.
Can you pinpoint at one point where you started to kind of lose yourself? Was there any moment or stretch, or was it just a gradual slipping away?
I don't know if there was a specific moment that I could pinpoint when I felt like I was slipping a little bit into an out of control spin, but I think that year after year, for me, I got a little bit more famous. I got a little bit more recognized all over the world. Then I, for some reason, dyed my hair. And that's the thing. You think you have it all under control until you don't. And it took me a long time to realize I wasn't in control of myself or even my own life, or so it felt for way longer. And so I think that towards the end of my career, I definitely knew and I could feel that not only was it the end of my career, but I just had no grasp on anything. I didn't know what I really wanted, even though I was saying all the right things and doing all the right things specifically. I was battling an internal battle that behind closed doors nobody else could see.
And you say that the DUI was kind of a good thing, not meaning that it was good that it happened, but it helped in a big way that it didn't happen.
Yeah, I think sometimes life sends you certain signs that I call them love taps. And these love taps are moments in life where it gives you the opportunity to reevaluate, right? It almost separates your life into a before and after event. And that's exactly what getting the DUI was for me. It was an opportunity for me to evaluate where I was at, and where I was at was not a great place. Obviously, the shame and the embarrassment of the actual event that night helped into kind of waking me up, because otherwise I'm not sure if I wake up. Sometimes people in the position that I was in, they get so far down that rabbit hole that it's hard to actually wake up. So I'm lucky. I'm really, really lucky that I was so publicly put on the spotlight for something that was so embarrassing, that was so preventable, right? And so it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I'm not sure I wake up if I don't get that DUI in April.
It's nice to see families, a lot of them with young kids. I don't know if you've seen the line outside, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
A lot of families, a lot of young kids still coming out here to support you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think this is a lesson that needs to be taught to all of our kids, that you all may put me on a pedestal and shine me up with your pretty words, Jeff. But the truth of the matter is that everybody's always going through something, no matter what. Whether they're helping somebody else who's going through something, whether they themselves are struggling with an internal battle. This is a lesson that has to be taught to our kids, right? I have a Young Readers edition that is perfect for kids because we touch on some of these really hard subjects in the book. And yeah, of course, their support is so important to me. This is real life stuff, right? This isn't the shiny, perfect, pretty stuff. This is the real stuff that actually matters, that will actually hopefully give these kids something to go to school about and to have cool conversations with their own friends about. You know, sometimes it's the struggles that people have are the biggest life lessons that we get.
And so how do you personally deal with the outside criticism? So if that's on social media or Twitter, obviously other people of your stature, I guess, take that to so many different heights and they get into feuds and things like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that ever since April happened, I don't know. I'm not like worrying too much about what other people think because I'm feeling really blessed to have the opportunity to sit here and tell my story and tell the real truth about my story. I sometimes think, oh my gosh, I could be doing this right now and this book would be totally, and I don't get the DUI and I don't tell the story and I would be suffering sitting right here in the seat. I'd be suffering a lot. And I'd be hiding from you guys, and I'd be hiding the truth, and I'd be leaving here to go drink a half a bottle of vodka, right? Those are things that scare me about how important it was for me that I needed to stop so that I could get clear-minded, that I could get the help that I needed, so that I could be able to be, I'm not ashamed of the things that happened in my life, right? They all needed to happen to get me here right now.
Did your struggles, whether it's the inner struggles, alcohol, or drugs, did that ever interfere with your soccer career?
That's a good question. I never drank while I was playing. That's definitely something that I've been needing to clear up. I was never drunk while I was playing or practicing. This all happened during off periods, whether it be downtime in between camps, a week off or whatnot, or in the off season, or the night before a day off. It was so hard to maintain any level of fitness, and so I was able to manage it well enough for long enough, right? But I think as the end approached and the end neared, I got even more stressed because knowing that I wasn't going to have soccer to save me or to keep me in line long enough to like have some semblance of a life, right? What do they call that? It's a functioning problem, right? I was able to function while also having a problem silently in my hotel room at night.
I just want to do one more.
So a parent comes up to you and says, you know, I read your book, and I don't consider you a role model for my child anymore. Has it happened, and how do you answer that if it does happen?
A parent comes up to me and says if they were to come up to me and tell me I'm not a role model, there's a lot of people that they can actually have their kids look after. I'm not out here to be a role model. I'm out here to be myself. If you choose to follow me and you choose to want to be in my corner and have your kid follow in some of the footsteps that I lay, that's great. But I'm not out here trying to get fans. I want fans to see who I really am, unapologetically. I'm not hiding anything now, right? I think people want real. I would rather be honest and loved than shiny and admired.
And just to ask, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you. Gosh, good question. I'm doing great. I love being back here. I'm really excited to see all the fans from Rochester. I know everybody's really excited. This was a literal labor of love for myself, to myself. I mean, there's a lot of different things in the book that didn't happen till it was finished. You know, the letter to myself at the beginning, for me, that was important because I need to, and that's also why I'm back here. You know, Rochester is not the place that people normally come to on book tours, right? But I'm here because Rochester has been such a valuable part of my career that I guess there's no better way to come and celebrate with the people that helped me grow up, helped me learn about myself, and hey, you know what? They've always been there for me when, in fact, sometimes I fall down, but look, I'm up, I'm good, I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.